Hey, I just wanted to go a little bit further into like the makeups of fat, and just kind of allow you to understand that like fats aren't just one thing, right? So like when we think about monounsaturated, or we label things monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, saturated, trans fat, like they're never just one thing in particular. It's a makeup of all things, or all three parts of fats, right? So if you were to look at a list, a makeup of all the types of fats, right? So we look at maybe the unsaturated fats to start with, like canola oil, like olive oil, right? Like that's probably the one that we think about as being extremely like a monounsaturated fat. Like if we see there, it's like, hey, it's 77% monounsaturated fat, so a high percentage of it, right? And then we look and it's 9% polyunsaturated and then 14% saturated fat, right? So when you're looking at how like fats are built up, right, they are never just made up of one type. The way they classify it, or the way it's described or discussed, is what is the one fat that is most prominent, right? So if we were to talk about sunflower oil, which is highlighted here, right? We see it's 20% monounsaturated, 69% polyunsaturated, and then 11% saturated. We would consider that a polyunsaturated fat. Corn oil falls within there. Safflower oil falls within that same thing. Canola oil, on the other hand, right? 62% monounsaturated, 32% polyunsaturated, 6% saturated. And then you can go down here and you can look at like the coconut oil, right? Like our plant-based saturated fat, it's 92% saturated fat. So obviously we discuss it as saturated fat, but it does have some monounsaturated and polyunsaturated qualities as well. So just something to remember, like when you're looking at your fats, or if you're looking at labels, or you're looking things up and you're just like, I thought this was one thing or the other. It's always a combination. You're just trying to find, like, I don't want to say the lesser of all the evils, but you're looking for the things that you, one, like to eat, and then two, that are best for your body. So just something to remember as you move forward and you start to identify what you're putting in your body.